Canadians better wake the hell up and wake the hell up quickly to the psyop that our disgusting government has pulled on us, that to be a patriotic Canadian who believes in Canadian values and is proud for what this country has stood for, who has ancestors who fought World War I, World War II, somehow makes you a racist or a xenophobe. These liberal wokies want to push this individualism, this corrupt culture that focuses on sexuality and personal gratification, but time and time again has been shown to lead to the downfall of civilizations, that these are the values that we must base our society on. Everyday Canadians who have lived here for the entirety of their lives have seen the degradation of our cities. It's undeniable. I've lived here for 36 years, and the open crack smoking, the drug use, the hedonistic, the mushroom shops, the weed stores, everything that we're seeing in society is a replay of what we saw in the early 20th century that led to disaster. We need to stand up now and say there is nothing wrong with saying I am a patriotic Canadian who is proud of our Charter of Rights and Freedoms, proud of the values that make me Canadian, proud of the Canadian people and my ancestral line that fought in World War II to defend this country. There's nothing wrong with saying we cannot withstand any more immigration. It is destroying the Canadian middle and lower class. We are being sold out by the elite cabal at the top of our government who work in service of the WF, Davos, Brookfield, these trillion-dollar multinational companies that could give a damn about the average Canadian. They want to degrade our culture. They want millions of invaders to be allowed into our country because you know what, at the end of the day, all they see is green. All they see is their profit margins going up. Our Prime Minister, Mark Carney, a truly sinister man, worked at Brookfield, another 800,000 immigrants into the country in Q1 2025, 8 million in the past decade, completely degrading our culture, completely degrading the economy, completely degrading our healthcare services, completely degrading our social services. You know what Mark Carney cares about? Brookfield's real estate goddamn assets in Canada. They've exploded in value, more than doubled in value from 2015 when Justin Trudeau was elected Prime Minister and began the globalist deconstruction of this country. And you know all Carney cares about? His assets continue to grow. These guys do not bleed patriotic Canadian red. They bleed green. That's all they care about is their pocketbooks going up. To be totally honest, to Cloward Previn strategies, they're actually the destruction of this country is good for them. It's profitable. It's truly nauseating once you understand what is actually going on in Canada, the incentive structure for these global elites. How else can you explain in a country where over 75% of the population, you will not find as overwhelming a consensus on any issue, say enough, we cannot handle any more immigration. These people are not assimilating. They are bringing their own cultures. They are not assimilating to the Canadian culture. And we don't even put a focus on it. We are ashamed. Our ancestors will be rolling over in our graves. They say that you have to be ashamed for being a Canadian. Nothing could be further from the truth. You should be proud as hell. And we have to defend this country. But if they can make the middle and lower classes fight to survive, we'll never be able to wake up to what's actually going on, which is exactly what they're attempting to do. Classic strategy, Cloward pivot, make everybody focused on just having the ability to survive, and nobody will be able to look up and realize that our country is being governed for the benefit of goddamn Brookfield Asset Management, trillion dollar conglomerate that could give two damns about Canada, the WF and Davos. You look at the Century Initiative, which Mark Carney has bought into hook, line, and sinker. They say they want 100 million people in this country by the year 2100. It's truly disgusting. They spit on Canadian patriots who died to protect this soil. They want to push a culture that is the exact opposite of Canadian traditional values. They want to trample all over our Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Bill C2, Bill C4, Bill C63. These are all direct assaults on Canadians' fundamental rights. Sovereignty, free speech. These are the pillars of Western civilization. Hence, that's exactly what they're going after the hardest. The pillars of Western civilization. Bill C2, if passed, would allow the Canadian government to access any Canadian's digital communications in the name of so-called national security. If they deem it a national security interest, they can access any Canadian's digital communications. I can't even describe how extreme this law is. It's more extreme than the Patriot Act passed in the U.S. after 9/11. It spits on our Charter of Rights and Freedom. If you thought Trudeau was bad for our Charter of Rights and Freedom, Bill C-2 makes an absolute mockery of it. They allow the government to access citizens' mail without notifying them beforehand if they deem it in the so-called national security interest. Bill C-63 sees the creation of something they're calling a Digital Safety Commission, which would allow 10 unelected bureaucrats and ombudsmen to put you under house arrest with an ankle bracelet if it's deemed you are likely to say something hateful in the future. I'm not kidding you. You don't even have to have said anything or done anything. It's the belief you are going to do something in the future. This is Orwell on steroids. They're going directly at our sovereignty. They're going directly at our ability to speak our mind. They want to be able to say, if you speak out against this corrupt globalist government, if you speak out against immigration, they want to be able to shut you the hell up. Canadians have had enough of this junk. We see through it. They've been able to yell racist, xenophobe, all these empty platitudes at people for so long. We see through it and we say no to the destruction of our country. Canada is currently under a foreign hostile takeover. Invaders continue to pour in and they expect you to sit down and shut up. I say hell no. I'm organizing rallies Saturday, September 13th, Saturday, September 27th, Parliament Hill. We need Canadian patriots in the streets. I'm so goddamn sick of seeing these foreign flags in our streets. We need Canadian patriots in our streets. Send me a message if you're interested in attending. If you're interested in supporting, hit the link in my bio. I have some great merch and it'll also help get the word out on our streets. I'm now over 10K followers on TikTok, and the Canadian government does not take nicely to distance. They don't like Canadians with free tongues. So please make sure you're following me on YouTube, youtube.com/@FightForCanada2025, youtube.com/@FightForCanada2025. Uncensored content there. I know I'll be able to stay there. So please make sure you're following me on YouTube. Get the message out far and wide. Canadian patriots are fighting back. They will not take our sovereignty. They will not take our free speech.